Hey everyone and welcome. My name is John. This is the Pink Princess Propagation project. The project is now complete, so what you're about to see is a series of clips that I have stitched together over several months. This was maybe 6 or 7 months in the making now. Started with one plant, not a lot of pink, ended up with 5 pots and some pretty good splashes of color now, especially this guy. And this one over here. So I learned a lot through this process, which I'm excited to share with you. So I hope you enjoy going on this journey with me here today. So let's take it back all the way to the very beginning. Okay, so I have been waiting to do this for a while. I got this Pink Princess maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago. I don't know, I can't keep track of time. I've just been home for a year straight. But anyways, this plant doesn't have a ton of pink. It has grown quite a few leaves since I've gotten it, but not a lot of color. And I have a lot of friends on Instagram who have pruned their pink princesses, and that's actually often resulted in more variegated growth. Now, by no means is this guaranteed, but it does kind of cause the plant to reset, and so hopefully it starts popping out more color. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna cut back pretty far. I'm gonna take a total of 5 cuttings today. 3 of those will have leaves and 2 will just be stem cuttings because I accidentally snapped 2 leaves off like an idiot. I have this in this humidity bin and it's growing in there, and sometimes I put it in and leaf snaps. And another time there was a brand new leaf and I was like inspecting the bottom to see if there was any more variegation, and it just snapped right off. So that's my bad, but those should still be able to root for us here today. So the ones with leaves are going straight into a potting mix that I'm calling Jungle Mix, and I came up with this recently. But I have already rooted a Syngonium in that, and so I know that it works. Although to be fair, Syngoniums seem to be able to root in anything in like a week. So Syngoniums are kind of crazy. But anyways, the recipe is a little complicated, so I will put that on the screen. Now for the ones that don't have leaves, I'm gonna put those into a jar of perlite. All of them are going back into the humidity bin, but I suspect that the ones without leaves are more susceptible to rot and issues with propagation, so I wanna give them that perlite so that there's just tons and tons of air in there the whole time. Now, because this has been growing in super high humidity, the aerial roots are pretty nuts, and I'm not convinced I'll get those to easily fit into the 4-inch pots, which I want to use. So I may have to trim those back, but we're going to do our best to leave them intact. All right, so time for the big chop. Okay, so I have my disinfected shears here. This is the lowest one I want to hit. Woo! Ta-da! Oh man, I kind of just want to plant this, but I'm gonna break this up into 5 separate cuttings. Okay, so let's chop it up. There's 1, 2. All right, so, wow. Okay, this thing is it's literally bleeding. It looks like there's wine coming out of this. Wow, this actually has a very strong smell to it. So look at this. This is what's coming out of there. Princess blood. Okay, so I trimmed this aerial root. This one I can't trim because look at it. It grew a little foot, so it probably needs that for some reason. No, not really, but I am gonna leave it. Okay, so for these, I'm leaving these petioles on even though the cuttings don't need them. That's just gonna help this stay upright a little more easily in the perlite. And because there's this aerial root growing in here, at least on this one, so I want to see if that will convert into some soil roots. Well, that was fun. Look at this. Now I got all these. So hopefully these will root pretty soon. I'm gonna go stick them in the bin for a month or so. As soon as something starts happening, I will be back with an update. Okay, so it's been about 2 months, so it's time for an update. I finally have some growth to show you all. Now, first you can see the mother plant on the right actually lost quite a few leaves, and in fact, it actually lost 2 leaves last night. I woke up this morning and found 2 of the leaves just on the floor. So that means that it is choosing to prioritize all of that new growth. So here you can see this one stem here is actually a half moon, but the leaf that came out after it, at least this first leaf, is definitely not. So there's 1, 2, 3, and there's a fourth one down below that's just starting to poke its head out. Okay, so here's the one in the jar, and you can see those roots. They were actually like really bright pink, and then they're kind of turning a brownish color. Not concerned about that though. You can see that one of them has actually put out a leaf. So you can see that first leaf there, nice little pink stripe in the middle. Beautiful. And then I just noticed this today. This one actually has started to push some growth out. There's a little tip here, so I'm not sure if this is just kind of getting stuck and not opening. So we'll see if that starts to do the inchworm type of thing. So overall, I'm definitely happy with what I'm seeing. It was for sure slower than I expected, being in the humidity bin with light all the time. But things are going, they are growing, so I'll be back as soon as we get some more leaves to show you. All right, so it has been 9 weeks and I'm getting ready to pull the plug on this little operation here. So everything has rooted, everything has put out at least one new leaf. And the mother plant did get some new, more variegated leaves, so that's very cool. The most variegation I got was on one of the stem cuttings. It's got 2 leaves that both have quite a bit of pink, so I have high hopes for that one. Okay, so here is the mother plant. You can see got some nice color on these top leaves. That stem there was half moon colored, but we haven't gotten any leaves like that yet. You can see the 3 growth tips that have leaves, and then down at the bottom there's this other one that hasn't put out its first true leaf yet. Now these guys are doing the best. So 2 stem cuttings in here. Both of these leaves with pink are from the same cutting. So that thing has just tons and tons of potential. Definitely gonna pot that one up and see how it goes. So out of all of these, this one has its leaf yet to unfurl. This was the one that had the most pink ahead of time. This one has a tiny leaf, but it does have some little splashes of pink. And then this one, this was the tip cutting. So actually the leaf was stuck for a long time. It was doing that inchworm thing that leaves do. So I popped it out and then it refused to unfurl. So I kind of forced it open and yeah, we'll see. Not sure if this is real color or if this is just it not fully developing. So we'll see what happens after that, but for sure the next leaf, if it gets cut again, I'll save it. I am really excited for this thing to have 4 growth points because it's gonna look amazing as it gets bigger. All right, what's up everybody? I'm finally ready to film the conclusion to the Pink Princess propagation project. I'm happy to report that it was very successful. Started with 1 plant, now have all 5 of these pots. I actually filmed this conclusion video about 2 months ago, and I didn't get around to editing the whole video, and I'm super glad I didn't because since then we've gotten a whole lot more color. This leaf just came out this week. That's what we're looking for there. And also this leaf over here came out very recently as well. So super happy to have gone through this journey and ended up with all these beautiful plants and also to have more color than before. And you'll notice that these are all very perky because they still live in my humidity bins. And this one has been out of the bin for a couple of weeks and it's just not enjoying it as much as the bin life. So I learned a lot in this process. I did propagate all of these just in a regular type of arrowwood mix, which I previously hadn't really done in the humidity bins because I was afraid it would be too wet. It worked well for propagation. It was quite slow compared to gritty mix or pure perlite. But once the root systems got a little more established, these have been growing fairly quickly. As you can see, these were all single leaf cuttings, except this one, which was a 2-leaf top cutting originally. So these have all done very, very well, and they're continuing to pick up momentum now as the roots are filling up these pots. Now these were the 2 little stem cuttings with no leaves, and I had rooted them together in perlite, and then I wanted to separate them, but the roots had actually like totally fused together. Like there was no way I could get the roots apart. So I just planted both of them in here. They're doing their thing, looking pretty good. And this nice little pot here. But yeah, so based on my experience and the experiences of others, which I've seen and talked to on Instagram and YouTube and such, it does seem like there's a pretty good chance your pink princess will spit out a little more color after pruning. So definitely, I mean, let it grow as big as you can for a while, because what I've noticed with variegated plants is as they get bigger and bigger, they acquire more energy, then they're gonna start putting out more variegation, provided that they're getting bright enough light. And then, yeah, so this one, when I cut it back, it actually sprouted 4 new growth tips. But since then, it has chosen only to continue growing these upper 2. So there's 2 growth tips down here that have just stalled out, at least for the time being. I really need to create some more space in my bins soon, so there's definitely gonna be a giveaway happening here shortly. So do make sure you're following me on Instagram at Enlightened Gardener if you want to take part in that giveaway. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I know I did, and I hope this gives you some courage to chop up your own plant if you're looking for a little more color. Definitely make sure it's growing really well, is nice and healthy before you do that, so that it will respond enthusiastically. So if you enjoyed the video, please drop me a like down below. And especially, I mean, just drop me a like for this leaf right here. Like, look at that thing. Look at that thing. It deserves a like. This thing, just let this know. Yeah, and please make sure you are following me on Instagram as well at Enlightened Gardener, so that you can get notified when I launch the giveaway of one of these beautiful plants here coming very soon. So stay tuned for that. But thank you for joining me today. Good luck with all of your plants and planty projects over the next coming months. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. All right, peace.